In most universes, Black Widow dies, she falls, she sacrifices herself, she disappears into legend. But this is not most universes. This is the one where she survived. Not because fate was kind, but because Spider-Man finally refused to lose the woman he loved. Before entering the story, please click subscribe, like and share to get more videos. 1. The moment that changed everything. The Red Room collapses in on itself. Fire tears through concrete corridors. Steel beams twist and scream as if the building itself knows it is dying. Alarms wail, then choke into silence. Black Widow runs not toward escape, but toward inevitability. Natasha Romanoff was never afraid of death. She had trained for it, accepted it, planned around it. History had already written this moment. She would fall. She would pay. She would be remembered. But history did not count on one variable. Spider-Man arrived seconds earlier than fate intended. Not as a hero answering a distress call. Not as an Avenger following orders, but as a husband who has already buried too many people he loved. Peter Parker crashes through the upper levels of the Red Room like a force of desperation. Webs anchoring collapsing walls, Spider-Sense screaming too late, too loud. He feels it before he sees it, the moment where Natasha is supposed to die, and he refuses to let it happen. The explosion throws her across the room. Flames consume the exit. The floor gives way beneath her feet. Natasha hits the ground hard. Blood, smoke, silence. Her body doesn't move. For one terrifying second, Peter thinks he's failed again. He reaches her through falling debris, tearing metal apart with strength born from panic, not power. Her pulse is weak, her breath shallow, her eyes barely open. She's alive, barely. Peter doesn't hesitate. He wraps her in webbing, shields her from the blast as the building collapses inward. The Red Room, symbol of control, trauma, and stolen lives, implodes behind them in a fireball that paints the sky red. The world watches the destruction on the news and assumes the same thing it always has. Black Widow is dead, but she isn't. She wakes up days later in a quiet room far from the headlines. No monitors beeping, no Avengers standing guard. Just Peter sitting beside her bed, mask off, eyes red from sleepless nights. "You weren't supposed to come," she whispers. "I know," he says. "I never am." That's when the universe breaks, softly, invisibly, because Natasha Romanoff surviving doesn't just change her future, it rewrites everything. Without her sacrifice, the Avengers' emotional scars shift. Guilt doesn't settle where it once did. Clint Barton never carries the same weight. Yelena Belova never loses the last thread tying her to peace. The balance of grief tilts. And Peter Parker changes most of all. He is no longer the boy who loses everyone. He is the man who chose to save one person, even if it meant defying destiny itself. Natasha recovers in the shadows, officially dead, unofficially free. For the first time in her life, no one owns her file. No one pulls her strings. No red in her ledger. But freedom has consequences. Enemies notice anomalies. Timelines ripple. Forces older than the Avengers begin to observe. Because when a soul meant to die continues to live, the universe always demands a price. And somewhere, in a reality that no longer exists, the world mourns Black Widow. While in this new timeline, she breathes, she fights, she lives. And the story of the Marvel Universe is never the same again. 2. Aftermath, a hero who refuses to let go. Natasha is comatose for weeks. Peter never leaves her side. No suit, no patrols, no jokes. Just a man sitting beside the woman who taught him how to survive war. The Avengers notice Spider-Man's absence. Crime rises. The city grows restless. But Peter doesn't care. For once, responsibility means staying. 3. Black Widow wakes up. Natasha wakes up slowly, confused, weakened, and alive. She doesn't smile. She doesn't celebrate. Her first words are a whisper. "Why didn't you let me go?" Peter answers honestly, "Because I already know what that world looks like." Natasha realizes something terrifying. She survived, but the instinct to sacrifice herself didn't die with the Red Room. And that instinct may destroy them both. 4. The guilt that follows survival. Natasha struggles. Nightmares return. Memories resurface. She was trained to die for the mission, not live after it. Survivor's guilt eats at her. Every fallen widow, every agent she outlived. Peter sees it. And this time, he doesn't try to save her with strength. He saves her with patience. 5. The world comes back for her. Enemies learn the truth. Black Widow is alive. Old enemies resurface. Governments panic. Power vacuums form. Nick Fury warns them, as long as she exists, someone will try to use her. Natasha offers the solution she knows best: disappearance, isolation, self-exile. But Peter refuses. Running didn't save Uncle Ben. Running didn't save Gwen. This time they face the world together. 6. The final confrontation, no sacrifice required. The last remnants of the Red Room strike. They expect Natasha to trade herself again. They expect Spider-Man to hesitate. They are wrong. Natasha fights without dying. Peter fights without losing control. No martyrdom, no last stand. Just two survivors choosing to live. And when the dust settles, the Red Room ends for good. 7. the life they were never meant to have. Natasha steps away from espionage, not retirement, transition. She trains agents, builds safeguards, prevents new red rooms from ever forming. Peter returns to being Spider-Man, but not alone. For the first time, his home is safe, not because the world is gentle, but because someone understands him. 8. Legacy, what they teach the next generation. They raise a child together, not as soldiers, not as weapons, but as people who survived violence and chose compassion anyway. Natasha teaches awareness, discipline, truth. Peter teaches kindness, responsibility, humor. The child grows up knowing something rare in Marvel. Heroes don't always have to die to matter. Years later, Spider-Man swings through New York, older, wiser, still smiling. Black Widow watches from a balcony, not as a ghost, not as a memory, but as a woman who lived. And in this universe, love didn't destroy the hero, it saved them both. Some timelines are written in sacrifice. This one was written in survival.